I was a geologist. After going through UNE here, I was a geologist for a couple of years in Northern Territory and around surrounding areas. And that plays a big part on my mind and what I paint and what I draw and where I come from, really, because I can see in the landscape, which is what I am, a landscape artist, just a relation to the geology that's underneath, and I can actually see what's there, whereas a lot of people can't see that, I don't, as in the rock structure, how it was made and why it is, and why there's a gorge and why there isn't a gorge, and why there's a hill and not a hill, all those things, even vegetation, why there's certain vegetation, all comes back to geology. The Blue Hole, which is close to Armidale, which is, okay, here's the geology thing, it's in the granite country, so it's a totally different landscape to what, say, Dangar Falls is, or Wallamumbi Falls, or Apsley Falls. They're all a sedimentary-based thing, so you have a different geological impact on those landscapes, I guess. I source all those areas, go out in the field and do all that, do drawings of those things, take photos, bring them all back to the studio, and hence start a painting. It's a collection of ideas, I guess, when you go into the field. Even just walking around in the environment, you just pick up all those ideas that you don't know that you're picking up. And eventually they come out from your subconscious once you're back in the studio, and you paint those out, I guess. I was an artist, I thought, when I was a child. And then when I got to high school, the art teachers weren't very good, so I sort of got that taken away from me, I think. And then I did a painting certificate course through the TAFE here for 4 years, in my 30s. So I've been doing it for quite a while. It can be a few weeks, it can be months. You start doing a painting and all of a sudden you feel, it's really hard to describe. There's no words to describe it. You just do this painting and you go, oh, that's right, I was there once and that's how the light was, right? So it's all stored in your brain, I think, for some reason, and you release it out. You need a studio. I think all artists need a studio, away from their house, away from distraction. As you can probably see, it's a little bit of a mess, but not much of a mess. Creative mess, that's it. Thank you. I describe it as contemporary landscape painting rather than traditional landscape painting, which is pretty obvious what those two things are. Contemporary is not painting realism, or even though I might start with realism by drawing, or when I first do the drawing, or when I first do the painting, when it becomes too real, I try to kill that for some reason. So the Blue Hole with the granite rocks. Painters that I admire would be Monet, would be one of them. Lloyd Rees always impressed me. Big, bold paint put onto a canvas. Although, once again, Lloyd Rees started with drawing. He was an architect. So he did precise drawings to start with, and then he became this big, bold contemporary artist. Turner, of course, is another big one, just for his atmosphere that he creates. One of my uncles was an artist, so maybe that was passed through genes, I don't know. I used to do drawings of buildings when I was a little kid. And enter art competitions and things like that. And my first big experience of walking into a gallery in Inverell changed my life, I think. I just had this overwhelming feeling of, I don't know, I can't describe it. I just thought it was fantastic. I might start a painting with drawing of from my references. And then that soon disappears. It might be charcoal or something, and then I'll start painting into it. And then slowly the painting evolves and takes over. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it goes in the wrong direction, so you start another one. That's, once again, the beauty of having a studio. You can have a painting going over there and two paintings over here and a painting stuck onto the wall that you're still thinking about. And all of a sudden you go, I know what I need on that painting, and then pull it out and then do some more work on it. It could be in a couple of hours you've done what you think is the perfect painting, and then another time it might take a few months until all of a sudden, yes, there's one that's resolved. Or just at some point you might have to discard it. I mean, you just can't resolve it. I even write down notes sometimes, especially at the end of a period of painting. I'll write down what I think I should do the next day on that painting, and it says put some more white in the top right corner or something, and I'll work like that. I've got books full of notes like that of how to resolve that painting. I play music when I paint, and it can be, one day it might be Led Zeppelin and the next day it might be Bob Dylan or something. So depending on how I feel too at that time. And I like that spontaneity that happens on the paper or on the canvas. Mix it on the paper and immediately you got rock structure, right? You cover up all the bits that you want. If I didn't like that, and I thought I liked what was, say it went down all the way down there, I could then cut back into that and show it. Right? Some of that's adhered to the paper and some of it's showing underneath. Then if I didn't like that and I only like that bit, I can do that. And you can get some really good. So if you pick it up for a while, get some really good effects, say like that, but then come back in with this and do your highlights around, say that was the top of a ridge or something. So, in there I could do that, show those lines again, cover those up because I don't like them, I don't know. But because I've used that big brush, you get that. What I've found lately is I'm getting that falling feeling of inner gorge. This is going into a show up at Nerrum in November. So this was when 3 artists, 2 other artists and myself, went to the edge of Thalgarrah Falls to a place we call Artist Point. You actually go to the picnic area and then walk down to the actual edge of the gorge. So you can't actually see the falls, but you look down into the gorge, right? And this was early in the morning. I've done 2 of these. This is the morning one, and then there was one in halfway through the day. Now, you sit right on the edge and there's these big trees right in front of you, but I've taken those trees away because they were too distracting, and I've just looked into the gorge, this being the top of the gorge, looking into the distance, and then this is the side of the gorge coming in here, and then that's down into the depths of the gorge.